At just 20, life for Hope Carnevale was still full of firsts.
I love everything about her.
But in November last year, with her sisters Tyne and London and their mother Danielle by her side, she died waiting 30 minutes for an ambulance. One of 9 people who lost their lives that night to thunderstorm asthma.
I love you so much.
I think now the hardest part for me as a mum is I had that chance of saving my daughter's life taken away from me. That had I been told that an ambulance wasn't in the vicinity, it wasn't dispatched, they had none left, I would have put her in that car in a heartbeat, and I would have had her at that hospital, which is about 6 minutes away, and she'd still be here with us today. I have to live with that kind of guilt because, you know, she asked me to help her, and I didn't help her.
I'm so sorry.
We know that people died waiting for an ambulance. I didn't become, and none of us become paramedics to know that someone, you know, was going to die waiting for us.
Paul Holman says at the peak that night, there was an emergency call every 4 seconds, but not enough ambulances to help all those who needed one.
We intended to try and get to everyone possible. You call us, we will come.
But just on this night?
Just on this night.
In some cases it was too late.
It was, and you know, that's what we're trying to address now. We had an unprecedented emergency, a major disaster. We will learn how can we get it better next time.
And according to the scientists, scarily, there will be a next time.
The bad guy here, Tara, is the ryegrass. And where we are today is ground zero.
To understand thunderstorm asthma, environmental allergist Associate Professor Cenk Sofioglu has brought me here to the seemingly innocuous ryegrass pastures that dominate west and north of Melbourne.
In the spring of last year, how well was ryegrass doing in fields around Victoria?
We've had the wettest season, wettest winter, so it was flourishing.
Ryegrass pollen is normally too big to get into the lower airways to cause an asthma attack. The worst it does is cause hay fever. But on the 21st of November last year, freak conditions changed all that. The pollen count was extreme, the temperature high, and as the storm blew in, it sucked up thousands of tonnes of ripe pollen. Within the foreboding clouds, and particular to thunderstorm asthma, moisture and an electric charge exploded the pollen into trillions of microscopic particles. The cold air of the storm then delivered them back to Earth and deep into the lungs of anyone who breathed them in.
So you can see here, Tara, the pollen grain that's about to rupture. And wow, you can have all of these fragments within the pollen grain basically released through that rupture. It's like a little bio-bomb going off.
In the lab, Cenk shows me just how the pollen is transformed into this invisible enemy, attacking even those who never before suffered asthma. Because they're breathing in all these tiny invisible particles.
Absolutely. It's a very effective way of delivery of the allergen.
It's a deadly way.
Deadly way, very deadly way.
For the past 25 years, Cenk and Dr. Philip Taylor from Deakin University have worked side by side to better understand thunderstorm asthma. They regularly collect and count pollen and have established the world's only volunteer warning system after Victoria was hit by smaller but still alarming thunderstorm asthma events in the past.
I was very frustrated that, given the long history that we've been building up to understand these events, that we couldn't get the message out there.
So worried was he by the forecast last November, Philip put out a warning 24 hours before the storm hit, something he's never done before. In the main, it was ignored.
I thought, no, this is quite serious.
Do you expect people to take your warnings in the future seriously?
Absolutely. I can see that already happening.
8,500 people ended up in hospital that night. 40% of them had never suffered asthma before and so had no warning of what was to come.
'Cause I'm happy, clap along, and if you feel like a room without a room.
11-year-old JL Wenner has plenty of lung power and has never had asthma cramp her style.
Because I'm happy, clap along, and if you feel.
But on the night of the storm, JL could barely make a sound as she struggled to breathe.
Inside, it felt like it was like squeezed together, like really wanting air to come out, but nothing was barely coming out. It was just a really little wheeze. And
What was that like for you?
to be honest, I thought I was gone. I was thinking like, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna die?
That must have been terrifying for you.
Very, yeah.
My pulse had stopped.
So did you technically die in the back of the ambulance?
Yeah.
For the next 24 hours, Jackie Falzon would be in a coma. For patients and paramedics, it was an apocalyptic night.
And what was the scene like at the hospital as you're driving patients there?
Like a war zone.
Yeah, chaos, absolute chaos.
Yeah.
I've just never seen anything like it.
Mania McElhaney was the most critical patient Anita and Georgie treated on the night.
Hello.
How you going?
Today, he's their most grateful.
I'm Anita.
Mania.
It's nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you.
Georgie,
Hi.
so good to see you.
Thank you.
Hey, how are you? How you doing?
Hey, buddy,
Yeah,
how are you?
good. Yeah.
Good to
A
see
lot
you.
better. I'm just so grateful for what she did on the day.
Oh, no worries,
Oh,
mate.
Just can't explain.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you and see
Yeah.
that you're well.
So when you look at these photos, London, what sort of memories do they bring up for you?
I just feel like happy and excited and that I had a great sister.
No one knows more how deadly asthma is than Hope Carnevale's family.
I still feel like she's going to walk through the door.
I don't think it's sunk in yet. I think, yeah, she still feels alive. I suppose the more we talk about her, the more alive we keep her.
Hope's death, along with the other 8 who lost their lives that night, show just how vulnerable we all are. As much as we might wish it, the prevalence of ryegrass across the country and the prediction of bigger and more frequent storms means this cannot be dismissed as a one-off freak event. Do you have any doubt that this will happen again?
No doubt whatsoever. Its sheer presence in high numbers is why Melbourne is the allergy capital or thunderstorm asthma capital of the world.
And Melbourne is responding. Its thunderstorm asthma warning system will be better integrated with the emergency services. There will be more pollen counts, and hay fever and asthma sufferers are urged not to just carry Ventolin, but also EpiPens. Come spring, everyone will be on high alert.
One minute you're doing life, you're fine, and the next minute a storm hits and there's 9 deaths. But I think it's vitally important to put something out to the public, not to fearmonger, but just to prepare us that, you know, asthmatics or not, be on guard. This is what it's done in the past, and this is how we need to be prepared for it.